Good morning. Joy here. I have an introduction for you this morning that I think you'll like. Let's play it right now.
Light of the world, you shone down into darkness. Open my eyes, let me see beauty that made this heart adore you. Hope of a life spent with you. Here I am to worship, here I am to bow down. Here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me.
That man's name is Paul Baskin. I think he writes the music, writes the words. That's an actual song he sings there though. But I don't think he's like on YouTube or super famous, so hopefully I won't go to music jail for playing you that beautiful, beautiful worship music this morning. All right, February 2, 2021. What are we going to learn this morning? We're going to learn, and boy do I have some stories to tell you on this one. You can't outgive God. The scripture is Luke 6:38. Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured into your lap. Did you know that was in the Bible? It is. And it's so true. When you make Jesus Lord of your life, and you worship God and you live the best life you can, you're never going to be perfect. Nobody's ever going to be perfect. Nobody's ever going to get it all right. Nobody ever has. That's why Jesus had to come. Heaven is a holy place. God is a holy God. And he can't allow sin into heaven. Or it would be like our government is right now. A complete, total disaster. So, Satan is allowed in heaven. And there had to be a sacrifice so perfect, so pure, so good, that it could cleanse us from our sin. So that's why Jesus had to come. Okay, so let's talk about this scripture, Joy. You can't outgive God. You simply cannot outgive God. The more you give to him by doing his work and serving his people, the more he will give you. If you have ever baked using brown sugar as an ingredient, you know that you put brown sugar in the measuring cup, press it down and add more. Press it down again and add more. It's amazing how much sugar you can get in a measuring cup. That's how God's blessings are to those who are generous. When you give, God gives too. He just gives and gives and gives. You cannot imagine how much he will give you through his blessings and his love. Let me tell you a couple ways that come to mind. You know, something always comes to my mind when I do these, but I promise these will be happy things today. When we started our business years ago, first we started out with 2 pharmacies because my husband's a pharmacist. Well, then the insurance companies all came up with this new plan where if you're going to have our plan, you have to go to Walmart pharmacy, or you have to go to CVS pharmacy, or you have to go to Walgreens pharmacy. So all of the independents, the people that were going to them and loving them, had to leave and start getting their prescriptions. They'd come in and Jerry'd say, I'm sorry, but I can't fill your prescriptions anymore. You've got to go here, you've got to go there. These grannies just cried. You know Jerry, he's just a saint. And these grannies just adored him. I was at the store one day. I worked right next door to where Jerry worked for a while. He bought a pharmacy and a clinic, and there was several doctors in there, and Jerry bought the pharmacy that was in there. And I worked, just turned out, at the building next door for an oil company. And so I walked over there one day. We went to lunch every day. I always took an hour off for lunch. And so I walked over there, and so I went back in the back behind the prescription counter where Jerry was. And so I'm just standing there, and I'm watching him, and I'm waiting for him to fill prescriptions. And this granny walks up to, you know, where the cash register is and the counter is. And I see her, Jerry's face, so I walk up and I say, well, hi, may I help you? She looks at me and she says, I only do business with Jerry. I thought, well, pardon me. But that's just how much they loved him. So anyway, Jerry got super frustrated with all these goofy new insurance companies and stuff. So we decided to get into the medical equipment business. And then, as you know, our business grew and grew and grew and grew. We even ended up putting a business down here. It grew and grew and grew. Well, we got into a program where we were shipping out Ensure and adult diapers and adult pads and all kinds of things. We shipped things all out in our Medicare area, which was Oklahoma mostly. And so it was costing us a ton of money, even then, in freight, because a case of Ensure, you know, Ensure's cans like this, and cans are heavy, and they're full of liquid, and a case is big. And so it was very expensive. And we were keeping our prices really low because it was a thing where you had to bid. And you had to win the contract with the government, with Medicaid, or yeah, it was Medicaid. And if you didn't win the contract, you couldn't sell anything. So Jerry kept his prices really low, and we got lots and lots of business. But then the freight was so high. One day, out of the blue, we're down here in this dinky little town. The salesmen don't even come down here hardly because it's just a little tiny town. And this guy walks in and tells the girls, I want to speak to the owner. So he goes back and he talks to Jerry, and he tells Jerry, if you will buy all of your products from us that you ship out, we will ship them directly to the patient instead of them having to come here to the store, and we will only charge you, I don't know what the amount was then, $6 for whatever we mailed out, and it could be 10 cases of Ensure. But whatever the order was, for that whole entire order, it was only a set amount of freight. That saved us thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars over the years. This man just walks in. That's one instance. I could tell you the things all day long that God has allowed to happen for us to give. Another thing just happened. You know how I have had problems sleeping? And I would be awake all night long. I would be awake all day long. I would be awake all the next night, all the next day, all the next night, all the next day. And I was having to start taking Ambien or I couldn't sleep at all. And I was gritchy as an old bear. And so Jerry just told me a while ago, he said, honey, you were sleeping one morning, you just fallen asleep. And he said, I just leaned over and I prayed for you. And I prayed that God would show us what was causing this problem that you weren't able to sleep. And I, of course, was asking God all the time, what is going on? Why can't I sleep? I used to sleep so good. What's the matter? What's the matter? What's the matter? So one day, a couple weeks ago, just like 2 weeks ago, I'm on my laptop and I'm reading all of your comments. And you know how the little YouTube things, other videos come up over on the side, and usually it's all sewing and quilting stuff. Well, one of them came up over on the side, and guess what it said? It said, 5 of the worst side effects of metoprolol. I think that's how you say it, metoprolol. It's the pill my doctor gave me for high blood pressure and my fast heartbeat, metoprolol. And I was taking one every single night, and it lasts 24 hours, and you take it every single night. I thought, well, look at that, that's that pill I take. And so I clicked on it, and I watched it. And so it's saying the worst effects, and I don't remember what they all are, but it would be like headache. What were some of the others? Headache, nausea, I don't know. The first 4 were just like, oh, I don't have that, I don't have that, I don't have that, I don't have that. But the fifth one, guess what the fifth one was? This is one of the most common side effects of this drug. Inability to sleep and crazy dreams. Oh my gosh, what are the chances? I didn't look that up. I didn't try to find it, just there it was. I started getting off the pill about 6 days ago. And so I would take it one night. I got off of them years ago, and my doctor told me before you get it off of them, take it every other day, then get off. So I would take it one night. I wouldn't sleep all night long. I would not take it the next night. I would sleep. Take it the next night. I wouldn't sleep all night long. I would take it the next night. I would not take it the next night. I would sleep all night long. So last night was my last night to not take it. I'm not going to take it anymore. I slept all night long. I slept so good. So that's how God gives to you. He gives you what you need if you'll just trust and obey. Now obey, that's where my kids and grandkids get real upset with me. You just think you're so perfect. I just told you nobody's perfect, didn't I? But because I won't accept some of the things they do that I consider wrong, that I consider sinful, that I consider to be the complete opposite of the way they were raised and the way they were trained, and to say that you're a Christian and to do these things, not going to happen in my house. No, you can't do that in my house. Nope, you're not going to do that in my house. When Jerry's brother comes here, you know about his brother, he doesn't do any of that stuff when he comes here. He doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't use the drugs. First time he came, he actually took the drugs, all the pills out of his pocket, and he gave them to Jerry. He said, here, you can have them all, get rid of them. Yeah. So, of course, what are you going to do when your mother and your grandmother's like that? You're going to say, well, fine with us, we're just not coming to see you anymore. And that's the way it is. One of you said, you need to find out what the common denominator is that's causing this with so many people in your family. Well, I know what the common denominator is. It's me and Jerry. There's just some things we will not allow in our house. And how do we know about it? Because one kid tells on the other kid, oh, this kid did that and that kid did that, or a friend will call and tell us, or whatever. It just seems like somehow a mom always finds out what their kids are doing. Isn't that the truth? So anyway, no, you cannot outgive God. And it's just so wonderful knowing that He's leading and guiding and preparing us for every day we have in our futures. So, love Him so much for that. Okay, my friends, that's the end of today's devotional. I am working on a video for you. You can see my new top. And listen, let me tell you this. Please don't think I'm trying to act like a preacher here. I'm really not. But I don't like to sit down. I don't like sitting. Sitting causes me a lot of pain right here in my lower back. And I just don't like to sit. You know, when I sit and I sew, I sit, then I get up, then I sit, then I get up, then I sit, then I get up, and I walk and I walk and I sit, and I just sit for short periods of time. But when I have to sit for a long period of time, oh, my back just aches. Jerry said, well, you need to sit up straight, you need to have better posture. I thought, oh, I'm sure that's true. So I'll be working on that next. God will probably put a little video over there today, how to properly sit in a chair. All right, I'll get out from behind the table so you can see my latest scan and cut project. Remember the orange fabric I just bought? This is it. I haven't made the pants yet. I'm just having to wear a pair of navy blue pants, but I'm getting ready to make myself a pair of leggings to go with this orange top because I don't have anything orange in my entire closet, except I did have some earrings and a bracelet. How about that? I'm so excited. So anyway, I'm going to do a video. I'm not going to tell you about the shirt or the scan and cut, except in a separate video. Because, like I say, adding this to my others, it just makes it too long and doesn't make sense. You know, first there's a devotional, and then there's this, and then there's that. So anyway, I'll be back with another video. I don't know when it'll be up. These take me longer, but soon. So, goodbye for now, and have a super duper marvelous, God-blessed day.